We have John here from Modular Lighting this morning from Pittsburgh, snowy Pittsburgh, and he's going to present to us a few of their new lines. And if you have any questions about modular overall, we'll check in with you at the end. And also, don't hesitate to reach out for us for catalogs. And we have lots of samples too. So, John, do you remember that I have your samples still? So
I believe I do, yeah.
So over to you, John. Thanks for joining us.
All right, thanks everyone. Thanks for having me. Very privileged to be here. So again, thanks everyone for joining. I'm going to keep it pretty brief today. Lots of visuals, so hopefully you don't get bored or anything. We'll just keep this flowing good. And at the end, so I'm going to show you some stuff that's new for us. And at the end, I'll show you some visual, some stuff real time, so you can see visually what this really looks like virtually, best we can. So I think by now, and I'm trying to advance the slide here. There we go. I think we're all ready to put 2020 behind us. I think around this time, so around a year ago, that I had visited Flux from Pittsburgh, and I had such big expectations for 2020. I think we all did. I was traveling a lot and everything, and my expectations were huge, and then set in reality. But I think we're all ready to put that behind us. I know I certainly am. And just a note, I think on my reality down below, there's a few more wine glasses hanging off there than what you see. So that's definitely not my dish drainer. So what's new? And that's why we're here to talk about what's new for us. So we've had a very aggressive launch schedule, even throughout the COVID time period last year. We launched about 15 new products or new product extensions to existing families. We're doing the same this year, but what I'm covering today is stuff that's been recently launched within the last few weeks. So we're going to start with the Smart Surface Tube. This is a mini cylinder. So our Smart series is not new. We have it in 3 different sizes: our 1 inch, which is what this is, our 3 inch, and our 4 inch. But this new mini cylinder is what's new here. So to give you guys some scale, if you look at the screen, whatever screen size you're looking at, unless it's an iPhone or something, a device, it's probably what you're seeing is much larger than what the real fixture is. And I'll show this live in a minute. But the aperture is a little over 1 inch, and you get about 300 lumen delivered. We have this in surface mounted, as you see here, but we also have it in suspended, and we have it in wall format as well. So that's really what makes it the Smart series, is that it can go in recessed, which we've had out for a while. I talked about the surface cylinder, the pendant mount cylinder, and now the wall cylinder. The overall dimensions are roughly, from the outside dimensions, it's about 2 inches on the outside and 3 inches tall. And here you can see it grouped, in this, on the left-hand side here, you see it in groups of 3. So with about 300 lumen delivered, this would be the equivalent of something like a 3-inch downlight or a 3-inch cylinder, but just more interesting because now you have a smaller inch cylinder, but more of them. And what's great about this is that per the electric code, because it's low voltage, these cylinders are too small to have an integral driver. So that means that you have a remote driver with the low voltage running to them. And that technically means that you don't need a junction box at the location of the cylinder. You can still, so if you already have a junction box, you can still use that. But you can also install like this, which is basically drill a hole through your ceiling or wall, whether that's sheetrock, concrete, wood, doesn't really matter. You feed the low voltage wire through, you put the collar on, attach the cylinder, and that's it. So very, very simple from an installation perspective. Here you see the suspended format as well. And the same thing applies to the pendant or suspended, is that you don't need a junction box. Although again, if you already have one or you were planning on one, you can use that. And here you also see the different trims that make the Smart family, what we call the Smart family. So you see the gold trim here in the upper left, that's the Lotus trim. And on the right-hand side, the more edgy vertical trim in white, that one's called Cup. So lots of modularity, really living up to our name, modular, with this family. And this is the closeout shot here of this new extension from the Smart family. These are the cylinders, the wall cylinders, both up and down. And then you have the down version here on the wood paneling. And note again that not having to have a junction box makes an installation like this possible. So it would be very difficult, or you'd have a big cover plate here if a junction box was required. So very easy installation. So that's the Smart family. Next to cover is extensions to our Pista family of products. And Pista is our low voltage magnetic track system. So that system itself is not new. It is our 48 volt system that combines elements of general lighting with surface mounted accent spots and suspended pendants. So all those things can go into the track profile. We have the track profiles for surface mount track, suspended track, suspended direct indirect or up down track. And then we have two versions of recessed track, the recessed trimless and recessed flanged. All that is not new. What's new for us in the track format is our linear spots. So we have it now in a 8 linear spot and 16 linear spot configuration. I'll show these live in a second as well. These dots are very small. It's about the size of the tip of my pinky. And each one delivers about 100 lumen. So the 8 is 800 lumen for the 8 dots. The 16 is about 1600 lumen. You have two different beam angle choices with these spots. So you have 25 degree and 40 degree. So you can either, get more punch, or you can get a wider distribution, and multiple color temperatures, which is this, characteristic of all of our products. So 2700K, 3000K, 3500K. Here you see a shot of it in this in the recessed track. These are the 8 spots. This is a recessed trimless. Here you see it in a surface mounted track version. And here you have also in a recessed version, but this is the flanged version. And you also see some of the track heads here in combination with these linear spots. So that's a new launch for us, the linear spots within our Pista track family. And then we have Minude. And this is the last thing I'll cover today, is what is new. Minude, which technically is not new necessarily. The product family itself started out for us as the track heads for that track system I just covered. So in a single adjustable or a double adjustable head, or a pendant suspension mount to the track. So those have been out for about 6 months now. But what is new for us is the surface and pendant mount that's standalone, not track based. So to give you an idea, this is another one of those examples of, wow, that looks like a huge fixture. It's massive on my screen. I mean, what I'm looking at is probably a 5-inch diameter cylinder on my monitor with, that's about 8 inches long. Well, in reality, it's a little over 1.5 inches in diameter and about 3.5 inches long. The body itself is all aluminum, and it's got a very thin rim, and it's the same piece of aluminum, billet aluminum, as the inside here that forms the thin edge into the curved inner side that goes into the lens. So this is all one body. The light source is very deeply regressed. It's about 2 inches deep. So very low glare, very nice cutoff to the fixture. And even with how small this is, and again, I'll show this live in a second so you get a sense of scale, it's about 650 lumen delivered, which is quite powerful for how small this is. The fixture is very compact, yet very flexible. So it's in adjustability, you can aim it all the way out to 90 degrees. So it goes completely horizontal, and it spins around a full 360 degrees. So very aimable, which basically means that we can use it on the ceiling, as we've been showing, but also in a wall product as well. These cylinders come in 6 different colors. We have 4 anodized colors. We have anodized black, bronze, anodized champagne, and a silver champagne, and then 2 powder coated colors, powder coated white, powder coated black, both of those matte. What you see here, this is the monopoint adjustable version. You can see some of the colors there. So the lower color is champagne, the upper is the deep bronze. And this product is also, because it's so small, it's remote driver based. And you can connect multiple, I failed to mention this with the Smart Family at the very beginning, but you can connect multiple of these fixtures up to one remote driver. So in this case, for this product, you can connect 2 up to 1 remote driver. With the Smart at the very beginning, you can connect up to 5. And we have many different options for dimming, 0 to 10, ELV, Lutron, on and on and on. And also what's great about this product, much like the Smart, is that and this illustrates my point a little bit. On the left-hand side, you can use it with a junction box if there's already one there or it was planned for the installation. But in the middle section here, you can use it without. So it's either or. It comes with the accessories to use it either way as well. So in the middle area here, you don't have to use the junction box. You can drill a hole. You feed the low voltage wire that's coming from the remote power supply or remote driver. You make the connection in this little box. You feed it back through the hole, and that's it. So whether it's sheetrock, whether it's wood, concrete, doesn't really matter. If you can drill a hole in it, then you can mount it. And there is no practical minimum or practical maximum to the ceiling thickness that this will work within either. And here's a shot of the suspended form as well. And the same thing applies, is that you don't need a junction box, although you can use one if there's already there, and you can connect up to 2 of these pendant versions up to 1 remote driver. I like this shot because it kind of ties in a little bit. On the far right-hand side, you see 2 of the adjustable cylinders. Then you have the track version over the dining area. So kind of combination of application here. Here it is in wall format. And here it is on the left-hand side. You see it in wall with the champagne finish. And on the right-hand side, again, it's tying in with our 48-volt track system. Here, this is not the linear spots of the track. This is just our general linear in the track. Then we have 4 of these minudes suspended. And to complement, we have 2 adjustables behind it. So very nice photo in tying everything together. Best way to stay in the loop, we have a very, like I said at the beginning, a very aggressive launch schedule this year would be to follow us on our newsletter. If you go to our webpage, supermodular.us. So make sure you go to the .us version. If you go to .com, you'll follow the Europeans, which has very nice products, but most of them are not available here yet. And our process is to move as much over from Europe to be available here in the US and as quickly as we can. So to keep informed on our latest launches, either join our community or you can also follow us on our social media channels, Instagram, Facebook, and so on. With that, I'm right at the limit. So I am going to stop sharing. I believe I did stop share here. And then I can show you a few things live and we'll wrap it up.
That's great. John, amazing.
Thank you.
Thanks for showing the installation. That's really, really helpful for us to see how things are installed, right? Because you see a beautiful picture, but if you don't know whether it's going to work in an application, it's not helpful. So that was a very helpful presentation. Also, I just want to point to you that there's a question there in the chat.
Oh, okay. I didn't have the questions up here. Let me look. 300 lumens at the lamp. What is the amount of lumens at? Well, they'll at 4 to 6 feet away. The lumens is about the same 4 to 6 feet away, but it's the foot candles or the lux value that would change. I don't have the photometrics offhand, but it's quite powerful. I'll fire this up here. If you got a second, I can. This is so this is the first one. This is the one I covered. You can see how small this is the wall cylinder. You can see how small this really is. It fits in the palm of my hand. This is the Lotus trim here. I could have used, and this is again what makes the Smart Family smart, if you will. This is the little cake. So this could have been used in this trim as well. Or this is the cup trim, which is the more vertical trim. This could have been used in here as well. So any one of those trims in different colors, the body in different colors here as well. You can see how small this is, that there is no way, this is the driver, for example, that we use on, sorry, one second here. This is the driver that we use, and the driver is actually bigger than the fixture. So yeah, there's no way to fit something like, and this is one of the smaller drivers on the market, by the way. So In any case, this is the little smart here. I'll show these all and then I'll power them up here if we got a second. The last one I covered, which was minued. So this is the little adjustable. And let me try and show how this thing articulates because I think this is really cool. You can see how it comes out like that. And so if this was mounted, you can see how it'd be mounted completely, in this case, horizontally. The friction on this is very, very fluid. It almost feels to me like hydraulic, like there's water flowing and pressure building as you articulate this. It's just very smooth. It very much holds the position, and then you can rotate it around as well. You can see how there's a curved inner surface. The finish on the inside here, this is the bronze one, is the same as the outside. It's very nice, and you get this really nice soft glow. I can power this up in a second as well. And then the last one I covered was the linear spots. And you can see again how small these are relative to my hand. This is obviously the 8 spot.
Yeah.
This is about 800 lumen. So awesome. Very, very cool.
That's great. There's a follow-up question there, John, from the first question. How far away can the driver be?
Yeah, so we've done a lot of analysis on this, and the driver can be up to about 100 feet away. So we recommend either 16 or 18 gauge wire, and even with 18 gauge wire, you can put it about 100 feet away, which by all practical purposes, that's good enough for most installations.
If anyone has questions, please feel free to either unmute yourself or just type them in the box there.
So yeah, on that first question, the lumens at 4 to 6 feet away, I'd really have to look at the photometrics. The lumen value stays the same, but the foot candles change. So we'd have to look at that in detail. We can address, you could send me an email afterwards. Sure. So here is the little, this is the little minude. You see the nice little glow on the inside there. It's really soft. And then it's going to look terrible on the wall because cameras do a very bad job with dynamic range. It looks like a bright sun coming at you with a big orange ring. What I see is very, very different from that. But that's the virtual life we live in right now. But this fixture, which is almost the same size as this one, you know, this is a little, the white one is a little bit smaller, but this bronze one has about twice the lumen output. It's about 650 lumen. I'm not sure, this isn't the right driver for the little smart. I'll see if it works. Maybe we get lucky. No, it kind of, it doesn't really work. It's the wrong voltage. Anyway, with that pretty much wraps it up.
Amazing. Any final questions? Just point out that Julie has put the link for registering for next week in the chat box. So if you haven't registered, please do. John, thank you so much. Like, really great presentation, very quick and to the point, which we really appreciate. And it's great to see the install shots as well as the product to put things kind of in context. I appreciate that you held them up in your hand because you're right, it's very difficult to tell from.
And I don't have some kind of like LeBron James hands. These are, I'm a normal sized dude. Just, normal sized thing. So, but I appreciate having you on. Thanks, Flux, for having me on, and thanks for everyone to attending today. I'm honored to be here, and thanks again, everyone. Be safe, and hopefully we'll see each other sooner than later.
I hope so too. When's the next catalog coming out?
We're actually going to print at the end of this month. So we're about 2 weeks away from print.
Awesome. Good stuff. Okay.
All right.